Hey guys, welcome to the video. In this video, I'm building a playhouse. I'm going to be showing all the steps that it takes to build a playhouse from start to finish. With one exception, I've already gotten this far along the process where I've put footings in the ground. I've got this first piece put up. We're going to start here. I'm going to explain the whole process from this point on and what I've already done. Now, this isn't going to be the typical playhouse because I'm going to build it to match our house that we just finished building. So I'm going to build it to look like the house. So it's going to use the same siding. It's going to have walls. It's going to have windows with some doors in it, just openings, not actual doors. And we're planning to go ahead and put electricity into it as well. So we're going to have lights, a doorbell maybe, and some other cool features as we come up with ideas. And I'm going to show you all of that process in future videos as I make progress. So this is just going to be part one where I start framing out the upper decking and the walls. So what I've got here is I've got 4x4 by 10, so it's going to be about 10 feet tall. But what I've done is I've framed out the decking. This is where the deck will be. So there's going to be a ladder to get up here and then other ways to get up here as well. And then there's going to be a slide off the front and then maybe some other things along the way that I may come up with as I build it. So stay tuned and I'm going to time lapse some of that and come back and explain later what I've been doing. So as I mentioned, some of the progress that I've already made is putting together these 4x4 by 10s, which will act as the support. And the other thing I did is I dug out some footings to pour concrete in just to hold it in the ground. And because I am in New England, we do get frost. And this isn't as deep as you'd want it for like a deck or anything, but it's good enough for a playhouse. So I did that for all four. I poured the concrete last night and now it's still setting up. But I also put the concrete ties for the blocking that goes into the wet concrete and then screws onto the 4x4s just to hold it in place. In addition to the 2x8s that I put around for the decking that I'm going to be attaching all of the joists to in just a moment, I also added some extra support down below with some 2x4s, just temporary, until I get everything else structured and put together so that it doesn't get out of plumb, get out of level, all of that type of thing. So once I get further along, I will remove those and replace them with something more permanent. And then I will be putting a roof on it just to match this type of roof over here on our house. So it's going to be a very interesting process just to do that as well. And I really don't like heights, so that's going to be fun. So let's go ahead and start framing out the deck. Now, if I didn't have a crazy problem or mistake that I made in the ordering of the material, that just wouldn't be a day on a DIY project. So I originally decided to build this decking out of 2x8s because I was thinking I had a bunch of 2x8s left over from building the deck over here that I just built. But as I went and got the 2x8s, I realized what I got, or what I had left over, is 2x10s. This was what this is. But I had ordered a few 2x8s to supplement this. But as you can see, I've got 2x10s. So instead of just using 2x10s or wasting and ordering another order of 2x8s, I'm just going to rip these 2x10s down to the same height as the 2x8s just so they're all even, and we'll call it a day. I only need maybe 3 more joists, so not a big deal, and I don't want these 2x10s to go to waste. So that's what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna grab my skill saw and rip down the 2x10s that I need down to 2x8. So let me do that now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to rip down another 2x8 from the 2x10, which I just recorded a whole video on me doing and talking about, but I failed to press record on the camera. So we're gonna try that again. And this time I have hit record. Let me just double check. Yes, I have. So This is a piece that I just ripped off of another 2x10. I've already cut it over there. So I'll just use this piece to trace the line for where I need to cut with my skill saw. And as I mentioned in my unrecorded video, it would be easier to use a table saw for this, and I do have a table saw, but I just don't want to pull it out and, set it all up just for like 3 cuts. So I'm just gonna cut it down with a skill saw, and that'll be good enough, because you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just gonna be on the bottom of the floor anyways. So let's do this again. There's the second one cut down to 2x8. All right, let's take a look and get these installed. The deck joists are in. I've got them 16 on center, except for here is about 17 or 16 3/4 from this joist to that joist. But I am going to be putting a 2x6 on this side of the 4x4s on both ends. So having a 2x6 here will be fine. And also it's just a playhouse, so it's nothing like majorly structural and nothing weighty going up here. But I do just want to build everything close to what the specs for a house or a deck would be, just because, I like to do things like that. So I think it's nice, and it's nice to have a nice sturdy and strong play area for your kids. So I'm gonna cut some 2x6s and throw them right into here and here, and then that will be it for the joists. So let me cut those now. So I don't actually have the decking for this yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build the 2x4 walls on top directly of the joist, and then I'll add the flooring in after, in between the walls. Not that big a deal. So let's get to it. I'm going to put a piece of plywood up there so I can walk on it and build the walls. All right, let's get to it. So I did not think of a way to get up there while I'm working. I don't have a middle-sized ladder, so I'm just gonna build a step on it with a 2x4. All right, so now what I've got to do is I've got to figure out what the heights and everything for this wall on the front, since this is what I'll start with. So like I mentioned at the beginning, we're gonna have a slide on this end. The slide is 28 inches wide, so we'll need a few extra inches on top of that. And then I think we'll just have a little window on this side of the wall, and then that'll be it for this wall. So let's get that set up and let's get going. All right, now I'm going to screw together part of the wall and then continue framing. let's figure out where the window is going to go now. Obviously it'll go in this area here, but let me just sort that out now and see where it should go. Well, I forgot my pencil, so I've got to draw the line with a screw, but that'll be fine for one.